to Nottingham, because the way they defend, they throw themselves in front of every shot, in front of every cross. What I want, what the fans should want, and what the players should want is that they give it all they got during every single game they play, and that's what they did today, combined with outstanding football in the second half.
I think the best managers, they don't tinker too much. They see what they have and then slowly implement their best ideas. And we could give an example for a million times over. And I think he's absolutely right. When I watch Nottingham Forest, for me, what sticks out is this is not a fluke. Yeah. The way that they compete, the way that they fight, the spirit, it's Route 1 football. It's not the most complicated tactics in the world, but it's smart tactics. And then when they get their chance, they have a player like Chris Wood, who's got so much confidence that he's able to score the goals in those moments. And then you look at the defensive record, 9 clean sheets, not in this match, but 9 clean sheets, more than anyone else in the Premier League. They have so much going for them, and maybe the best thing, they got no pressure.
Okay. But this is a side that does not have enough depth in the striker position to win a Premier League title. You saw it there where Chris Wood...
But they're not just relying on Chris Wood for goals, because of course Lang has been chipping in
where Chris Wood laid on, and I agree with that, where Chris Wood laid on gave everything in a match like that. Liverpool sending every single player forward. Yep. You bring on Taiwo Awoniyi. That's a massive drop-off in class, quality, fitness.
But that's because he's been injured.
That's a massive drop-off because that's their next striker that they have. If you're Nottingham Forest and in the age of PSR, because of what happened last year, it's going to be a tough ask for them to go in the market and get another striker that can come in and impact. Well, a key reason why I think we're even having this conversation is because of their back line, and we gave kudos to Matz Sels. But how can we not talk about the two center backs?
Yes.
Murillo, or however accent you want to put on it. I think he's Brazilian, so Murillo.
He was Spanish, right?
Outstanding.
No, but it's Portuguese, so I actually think it's Murillo. It's not
Murillo?
Yeah.
Ah, man, Igor, our resident Portuguese, accent coordinator. So he on the day, alongside Matz Sels, in terms of outfield players, I thought he was the best player on the field. In terms of outfield players, best player on the field. The combative edge that he had, the mentality. Lucho Diaz didn't even know he was there. Cody Gakpo didn't even know he was there until that last shot. That's a player, 22 years old. There's going to be big clubs, and it's going to be a big ask for Forest to keep a hold of him. Him and Nikola Milinkovic worked on that in the mirror a couple of years. I kept saying Milinkovic-Savic. Milinkovic. They have a partnership that catches my eye, not just because the shutouts, they lead the Premier League in shutouts, but when you're putting performances against United, Tottenham, and then you take it to another level, we now have to have the conversation, and I'm going to put this out there. Arsenal fans won't like it, but for me, right now, in terms of form, tenacity, in terms of edge, and in terms of quality, take set pieces away, they are the best center-back pairing in the Premier League right now. Yeah. It was gutsy how they approached the second half, but they have this sort of feeling and mentality where they smell blood in the water, and their biggest ace up their sleeve was Diogo Jota. He had and has an incredible goal-scoring record against Nottingham Forest. I think that's 7 goals in his last 7 appearances. And good managers and managers I've always played with and had in my career, they did this. They knew how to motivate and get the right players who, when you look at the schedule and you're a player and you know, okay, this is the team that I love to play against, put me in, coach.
It actually says a lot about Liverpool that they were able to find a way to come back into this match. And we heard the Nottingham Forest fans singing in the first half when they're up 1-0, oh, we're doing it again. But I think there is a lot of strength in this Liverpool getting a point. And I've seen Liverpool fans take it both ways. Oh, we dropped 2. We earned 1 point. You're not going to win every game. It's impossible throughout an entire season. And the last couple of games have been difficult for them. So I take a lot of positives from this. And like we mentioned before, they look still hungry at the end of the match.
Yeah. Well, when you look at how they set up in this match, they only had 1 true defender on the pitch late on. It was Virgil or bust. And Forest, they got sucked into that a bit of saying, we can get that match-winning goal. But Liverpool, it starts with the back with the presence of Virgil van Dijk. It gives you all the confidence in the world as the best defender amongst a host of great defenders on display. We'll get to Forest in a bit of why I think that. But the best defender in the Premier League, and you could argue one of the best defenders, if not right now, the best defender in world football. He gives you that confidence to say, you know what, boys, I'll sit back, I'll absorb pressure, I'll do the business, I'll lead by example. You just go and make the game happen. And this was a match that showed that Liverpool Football Club, although Mohamed Salah has been propping them up and getting match-winning goals and stellar performances, maybe they are more than just Salah. You have to keep a player like Jota healthy. He's the difference in previous seasons for them coming close to the Premier League and them not winning the Premier League. His health is key.
Again, to Nottingham because the way they defend, they throw themselves in front of every shot, in front of every cross. What I want, what the fans should want, and what the players should want is that they give it all they got during every single game they play, and that's what they did today, combined with outstanding football the second half.
Against Feyenoord, where I was thinking that was going to be the match and the moment for them to turn things around. And from a mentality standpoint, one player that we didn't see enough of in this match, Erling Braut Haaland. Yeah. He has gone missing in action. It's painful to watch him in the final third. And when you see things, forget the missed chances, forget what he's doing in the box. It's missed layoffs. It's getting bullied off the ball and holding up the ball. He's just not feeling it. He's losing
just started
confidence.
scoring again, too, so you'd think that would have been able to unlock him.
Yeah.
But I think that also in so many games, I see Manchester City look very naive. I understand that they still want to play their high line and they want to die in their philosophy, but for me, there's moments in games where you have to close out. You have to be able to adapt.
But that's not on Erling Haaland, then,
No,
because
exactly.
The going for him.
No,
that's my point.
I do think that they're all in their own heads, Pep included, and that's one of their big barriers right now.
Issue?
I think it's that and just too many questions. I think with Pep, it's trying to fix things. And that's why I know you're like, oh, say that with a serious face that he was praising him. But, like, I truly think he's trying everything. And you're trying to award the moments where somebody did something good because you're out of options and answers. You're trying. He's never dug out of a hole this deep. He's managed to success. He's maintained success. He hasn't been this down bad where he's had to repair and make the ship float again.
I know what it's like as a player when you play on a team where you're used to being up here and things just keep falling by the wayside. And the pressure that is on the back line, the lack of confidence we see on the back line. I had the misfortune at times of playing in back lines that lost confidence. And when you're up 2-0, when you're up 3-0, when you're up 1-0.
With 8 minutes to go.
There's an experience in this feeling of please get the third goal. Please get the next goal. We just need this one match to become 2. You're waiting for anything in the final third to go right. Before that goal went in, the tying goal for Brentford, Savinho had a chance. Phil Foden had a chance. Erling Haaland had a chance.
You can't win every game 3-0,
You gotta put, but
2-0 with 10 minutes to go.
But you got to put the match away. A Manchester City of old doesn't leave that to chance. Right now, you take away their attack. Right now, 2 goals for City in past years would have been more than enough to see a game out. No Rodri, no backline with confidence right now. You got to get that third goal.
Enzo Maresca talking about the title contention. I don't know if you don't believe me or think that I told you that many times that I would love the pressure to compete for the title, but we are not ready for many reasons. One of the reasons why is because we cannot concede the goals we concede. So just to remind you, they are 10 points adrift from league leaders Liverpool. He is pointing to a defensive issue there. We touched on it earlier this week on Morning Footy. It starts with the goalkeeper and that back line. He's not got players that I guess he feels he can depend on. What stood out for you in that performance?
I think this is a manager that had a crystal ball and saw this coming and probably tempered expectations a bit. I know people have different opinions on, well, when everything's going well, why would you take the air out of things? This guy is a realist. Chelsea Football Club right now, from the chaos that they experienced from the summer transfer window when they had 96 players and couldn't fit them all in Stamford Bridge itself, to where they're at in the league, you have to applaud him, but the downturn in form that I see for Chelsea, you start in the back line first. The injuries to Badiashile and Wesley Fofana, it's not the first time those players haven't been available.
And Reece James being in and out of the squad. But
I have questions over if he knows his best back line. Tosin.
Has he had enough time to see it?
But you have a player in Tosin, who I'm not even going to try and attempt his last name.
Adarabioyo.
Thank you. You can say it. I won't. But you have a player like that who performed well in the FA Cup. And it's the FA Cup. It's Morecambe. Okay, you take that with a grain of salt. But he's available. And you need a steady presence in your back line. You have Malo Gusto, who's a true fullback, and you make the choice to play one of your best defensive midfielders, and a key reason why you've turned the corner in the Premier League or shown signs of it, in Moises Caicedo at fullback. Caicedo is a walking foul. especially when he plays in the back line.
It's not
He's
just
a
the back
walking
line,
penalty.
right? With Chelsea, it's also 4 goals in your last 5 games and not taking
They're
advantage
wasteful.
of your chances. For me, that's also a problem. For sure, it's usually all of these
aside
things.
from that, though.
Yeah, absolutely. But Nico
Jackson,
Jackson, sometimes he could be amazing, and sometimes he's a little bit less so, right? Is he that really top center forward that you have confidence he's going to score game in and game out? Probably not. And I think that's one issue. I think the quote from Maresca was just being realistic, honestly. And I know we've all disagreed and we argued in the green room about it, but I think he's looking at his team. He's seeing that it's a very young squad. I believe the youngest squad in the Premier League. You're going to have these moments of inexperience, and that was a way of him just deflecting pressure, which Italians love to do, by the way. That's the most Italian quote of all time. It's all on the other guys. Let's fly under the radar. But I think it was also his way of just trying to be honest. And guys, let's not get too excited at our highs. Let's not get too low at our lows. We have a longer-term project. Maybe Chelsea fans don't like to hear that, but it's also the reality of the situation with the squad that they have.